one thing sometimes people ask, let's say they get crypto to a degree, maybe they own a little bit of Bitcoin. Do you want to explain to someone what the difference is, between Bitcoin and Ethereum, more from a mining standpoint? Obviously, a lot of coins are different, but maybe let's just pick like the top five and explain, there's different types of mining out there.
Sure. Proof of stake versus proof of work. The majority of the systems that I'm interested in really are proof of work. So that means your machines run. They prove that you're doing this. Your machines are proving that this work is being done. Proof of stake is something slightly different. Ethereum's gone to that now, or going to it. So it's what gives people the most fear that they're going to be running a different way of verifying transactions and mining. So and some of the other coins like Ripple, which I'll be straight up, we're in the business of mining Bitcoin. I don't have a big interest in a lot of the other coins. To me, it reminds me so much of the internet, Jason, because all these kind of things happen very quickly, and this coin works. There was Grin coin you saw go crazy, and all people offering a different spin on Bitcoin, more privacy, less power, easier to transact with, kind of in smaller chunks, or things like Ethereum that offer some other interesting variables. So they're very much advanced on smart contracts and a way that their blockchains function, because people forget that a blockchain, each block is just a database. So a whole bunch of transactions went into that block that happened in 10 minutes, and then a whole bunch of computers verified those transactions occurred. So what Ethereum's done a good job of is building off of that and building functions within that blockchain, within that database, right? That's what Ethereum's done. So it's kind of the most stark difference is probably Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now there's Bitcoin Cash, which is a take on Bitcoin, and then there's Litecoin. All of the other coins that started, but again, I think people need to look. And I would always, if you can afford it, you would, and you can, because it doesn't matter what a level or what amount you're buying of Bitcoin. I would never push people in anything but Bitcoin, to be honest. Right? People are playing in Bitcoin Cash. There's things called simple ledger protocols, which are making it easier to transact, right? But it'll still be Bitcoin Cash, and everything else is still really, being not verified, but being driven by a Bitcoin core. So Bitcoin is my number one interest. The other coins, I'm very, very leery of. I would tell people to be very, very careful looking at some of the other coins. But listen, there's some interesting things happening. It's just not my focus.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's some good players in the space, but I think there's a lot of bad players, having been in that space obviously for a while. And you touch on Bitcoin Cash, and it doesn't take an expert to realize that it's pretty shady. Mainly the people behind it. Obviously, even at some cases, like I remember in 2017, they bought the Bitcoin.com, URL and said, "Oh yeah, buy the real Bitcoin here," but you were actually buying Bitcoin Cash. So kind of, stuff like that definitely rubs me and a lot of other people the wrong way. And we can chat, again on a different time, why we think Bitcoin is really the place to focus. And that's where a lot of companies are focusing. It's not at Bitcoin and Ethereum. A lot of them don't touch anybody else, which makes a lot of sense. But let's take things back. So just in general, types of mining, just to give people a taste. We've seen people say, "Hey, can I mine stuff with my phone?" Certain blockchains you could, but now, really just talking about the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some people were even asking, well, why did graphics cards skyrocket in price? I think that would be interesting if you want to touch on that.
So. Sure, that when and again, it's all driven by your sell price for sure. But when when Ethereum was going through the roof and Bitcoin was going through the roof, it's a different process. So the simplest way to say it, it's different, different computers doing different things, right? The GPU cards, which is a graphics card running, versus running what you now is just a script. So you're running the Bitcoin machines, ASICs machines are application specific. Okay, so you're running ASICs machine, meaning applications, meaning this is what my server is designed to do. This script, that's it. Okay, very simple. The GPUs are more general in what they're doing. They're just a processing unit for graphics, and they're allowing you to process things a little bit faster, right? That's what those cards do. So people were going crazy for those cards, especially 2017. I know guys that had an entire warehouse of cards, and we're going to set up mining operations. So the GPU cards were nice because you could set up these kind of crazy mines. You just put a whole bunch of cards in parallel and you run them, right? It was kind of neat for people that want to do home mining and stuff like that. You can still do it today. You just got to run the numbers. How much am I paying for a graphics card, and how much is my electricity, and then how much am I getting out the back end, right? And it still makes no sense to me. So but the ASICs machines, which people, running, if you're running for specifically Bitcoin, that's what you're doing. You're just mining Bitcoin. And there's a couple of other coins you could mine with the ASICs machines, but we don't need to talk about those. That's what you're doing with it. So you're buying this application-specific server. So prices went nuts. I mean, these guys, what they did is they had this whole warehouse they were getting ready to start building, and then some guy just came in and bought all their cards off them.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, dude, everyone, I'm sure, or a lot of people watching this, hey, if you try to buy a graphics card in the past 3-4 years, you have felt the pain